Hello, people. That's actually a different voice from the one you hear yesterday, different from the Joseph's voice. It's Franco Gamba here. It's a bit of time I didn't commentate it in DTM. I don't know much time, but it was a long time. We're here for the race, and yeah, it's going to be an interesting race here at Portimao, round 9 of the season. Of course, we are going to see now the grid. So, after yesterday's session, it's Mackenzie starting on pole. His first pole of the season and first one since Spa in 2021. I actually checked this. Then Michael Clark completing the front row with his Britain Mercedes. Then Joey Canella on the second row with Dennis Groff and Victory Bobo on third row. And then we go on to the fourth row. And of course, Christina is joining me soon. If you're asking me, she will join very, very soon. But meanwhile, here on the fourth row, we have Skillen and Parrish. With the fifth row that is composed by Campana and Xavier Wee. Sixth row by Muhammad Usman Hamid and Daniel Fraser. Seventh row composed by Roland Mochen and Sam Fucht. Eighth row completed by Miron Evci and Maxim Titkov, who is dropped from 11th due to a 5-place grid penalty sustained last race for a dangerous rejoin, which saw him and Muhammad Usman Hamid out of the race at Aragon. Gabriel Quintino and Juho Supanen starts on 9th row. 10th row, so we are now on to the last two rows with Franco Gamba and TJ Papiro. And the championship leader, Rubinho Gonzalez, will start only in 21st, so it will be a tough race for him. With Josh Finks starting on the last place of the grid alongside him, so it will be quite a difficult race for our championship leader. And now we are going to see the weather. And the weather is dry, completely dry, a bit cloudy, but it's going to be dry. Hopefully, what the weather forecast will be right, and that we won't have any surprise. So let's go on the way, and meanwhile the bar loading is going on. So if you want, you can say any prediction in the chat. And of course, I'm reading that Christine is joining soon. He's having a little bit of issues with his PC with Discord. And yeah. So who will be leading at R1? Usually the person who starts on P3 gets P1 after first corner here at Portimao. But let's see if it will be the case right now. So we're here, 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and round 9 at Portimao for the DTM Championship is underway with Jay McKenzie having a bad getaway, with Clark getting the lead and Towick moving on the right to try and get sneak through to P1, but it's not enough, and McKenzie retakes the lead around the outside of Clark, who actually got overtaken by Graf in P2. Great start by Graf. And that's actually damage for people behind is Josh Finks, who is going to pit, and Franco Gamba as well. I won't swear, but yeah, Franco Gamba with damage, Juho Supanen as well. And meanwhile here, and hello Christina. Can you hear me, Christina? Meanwhile also Quintino have damage. Christina, can you hear me? Okay, so a little bit of issues still for Christina. Meanwhile, we're going to see again. Hello, Christina. How are you?
It's good to here. How are you doing, everybody?
I'm doing fine. What about you?
I'm okay. Just had a few issues with my Discord, which is why I joined late, but looks like we had a crash early on.
Yeah, basically, Finks, Gamba. Finks actually went into the back of Gamba. And Quintino damaged FG's rear wing. So yeah,
All right.
a bit of messy start. But so far, Mackenzie stays in the lead. So if you want to, you can be the lead commentator, and of course, I can be the co-commentator.
Right, sure. As looks like Clark is currently in third place.
Yeah, Clark has actually Graf had an amazing start from P5 to second place, and he's now
that's right.
onto the back. No, actually, it's Clark more
Here goes
close.
Clark. He's going to go for the attack here onto the main straight, and this should be the move done if you can get him on the braking into turn 1. But let's see. Has he got enough of an overlap to get in front? Yes, he has.
Parish to P5.
Meantime, is battling with Victor Bobo as Fraser has just made a move up into P11 on Hamid.
And yeah, in the meanwhile, the 4 cars damaged managed to get to the pits.
Yeah, that's right. Meanwhile, Mackenzie continues to lead as Will Neller is in 6th place, Kill in 7th, and Bobo 8th. And yeah, the damaged cars are pitting as it looks like we have a little bit of a lockup there for Sopanen. So yeah, that's interesting. Clark is up in the 2nd in the meantime. He is in front of Graf, so yeah. And it looks like he's chasing down Jay Mackenzie. This should be an interesting tussle. As Graf makes a little bit of an error, he's gone a little deep and has lost a little bit of time to Turvik behind.
Meanwhile, Quintino rejoins P19 with Finks P20, and I think Gamba and FG P21 and P22. So
I'm not going to lie, after being away for 2 weeks, I feel good to be in the country booth again.
I'm happy to be commentating with you once again, Christina. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, sure. You can call me Kurisu, it's my nickname.
Ah, yeah, Kurisu, yeah.
Okie dokie then. It's short for Christina anyway, but we have set the fastest lap as looks like we have a little bit of a battle here. Bapira now takes the fastest lap.
Bapira is actually outside the top 10.
Yellow flags.
Oh, Fraser.
It's Daniel Fraser. He's out of the race. Looks like he's had... No, he's not out of the race. He's rejoined. I thought he had a mechanical problem, but he just had an error. So let's see what happened. It's turn 1. Driver error. He was all by himself. Carried too much speed, went off track, and then lost the rear end. And then up into a spin.
That's actually a rare mistake. I think I never see no one spinning there. So yeah.
That was a lot more oversteer than I anticipated, as Sopanen is making the move here. No yellow flags, of course, so he got it before the yellows. Fraser is back on the racetrack, so the yellow flags have been lifted. As Hamid is in 12th place at the moment, he is defending from Motian behind.
And meanwhile, championship contender Titkov is only P15 at the moment.
How does my voice sound, by the way?
What?
How does my voice sound?
It sounds loud and clear.
Okie dokie then. So then. Skillen is in 7th place. He's right on the back of Will Neller. The other Will Parrish is in this fight as well. He's behind Turvik. And through Galv corner we go. His traction isn't as great as Turvik's, but he should be able to stick close through the final corner. He is right behind him. He's going to get the slipstream. Now he's going to pull out of the slipstream and go for the move. Going to get him into towards turn 1. Looks like he has a straight line speed advantage. So let's see. Down into the first corner we go, and that's the position for Parrish.
That's actually a clean move. Meanwhile here, Sopanen.
He's overtaken Motian there in towards turn 1.
Actually, good recovery started from Sopanen. 2 overtakes in a row in 2 laps.
Yeah, that's right. Meanwhile, we have Victor Bobo trying to think of a move, but he's not going for it on Campana. This is for the points, of course, but we have a little bit of a train here. Neller is involved in that train as well. Turvik has been overtaken by Parrish. I expect the American pull away, but we will see. As, yeah, interesting race so far. Clark is chasing down Mackenzie. Has Clark ever won in DTM? I'm not sure if he has.
He never did. I think his best result was a second place, but I don't remember which race. But as far as I can remember, he never won.
I'm just ashamed that not ashamed. I'm just disappointed that he's not in the chat. He could be winning the race, and if you were here to celebrate with us, we would get some great content. But I don't think that's happening actually.
Yeah, probably. Sometimes when you're not in the chat, usually your driver does well. When you're in the chat, it's actually the opposite. So
Here we have
that's actually
Xavier Wee. He's going for the one Victor Bobo. He's got the inside line into turn one, and just like that, he's got the position. Though he has to slow down a little bit, and Bobo comes back around the outside.
and yes, he stays in P9 in Bobo. Well,
Yeah,
Bapiro.
good counterattack. Meanwhile, TJ Bapiro is racing with the car in front of him for 16th place. He's gonna get a
Actually,
decent shot in towards turn 5, so let's see. He's in the slipstream, but I don't think he is close enough unless he thinks about a dive. His opponent defends the inside line. I'm not sure who that is, but
Gonzalez.
yeah, it's Gonzalez. Yes.
And actually, it's crucial for right now for Gonzalez because he's the championship leader, and so far he doesn't seem to be looking good in terms of race pace. Like Titkov in front is a little bit far, and you have now Bapiro close under his rear.
Well, Gonzalez, he has a 15-point lead, so that's some good insurance for him. Even if he doesn't score points today, he will still lead the championship. But I think he wants to do better than 16th.
Well, hearing his ambitions, he was actually pretty disappointed yesterday. So yeah, it wouldn't be enough for him. Like in my opinion, even a one-off race outside points isn't bad as long
Here
as
goes
now
Skillen for the move.
he's
He's up in
championship
6th place.
rival.
He's overtaken Will Neller.
Skillen is P6 and he's one of the championship rival actually. So right now the gap between both of them will be 12 points.
Bapiro
And
also makes the move. He's overtaken Gonzalez. Meanwhile, Clark is just 8 tenths down on Jay McKenzie. So this is an interesting fight.
yeah, actually, I think that Clark might go for an attack very soon.
Could be, yeah.
I think mainly we are going to see one stops today.
Yeah, definitely. I don't see the case for a 2-stop, honestly. I think most people are on the 1-stop. We could take a check, but I don't think there's any need.
I think that everyone, majorly will do.
Either way, this is a track with heavy tire wear, so let's just keep that in mind. Even if everyone is on the 1-stop, they will have to manage their tires.
Yeah. Oh, Josh Finks is out. Puncher, I think.
That's our first retirement of the day, and he is out.
Yeah, suspension failure.
His suspension is gone, and that is Josh Finks out of the race.
Yeah, his miserable season continues. Like,
I'm afraid so. Hello, Rubinho. Welcome to the chat. Nothing really happened, honestly.
He took me out at lap 1, but yeah, nothing personal. So that's just a shame for him.
Yeah, indeed. And his day is going from bad to worse.
Yeah. And there we go. So actually, Josh Finks is right now 18th in the standings with 10 points, but judging the situation of his rivals is going to be...
Here goes Campana for the movies, overtaken Will Neller up in 7th place he goes.
Emotions does the same.
I'm trying to get my voice to sound a little bit more feminine, though it's difficult.
Yeah, it will take a little bit of time, so don't worry.
Anyway, Sopanen is trying to go for a move here, but I don't think he is close enough.
Yeah, I think that actually...
Let me know how my voice sounds, everyone, in the chat if you want. And we're getting back to the race. Mackenzie has extended the gap. It's now 1 second exactly.
Yeah, I think that Mackenzie is trying to pull away from Clark's pressure. But he needs to be careful because...
I mean, I was asking if my voice sounds feminine enough or not, but obviously it's very difficult.
Yeah, it took time. It took a little bit of time, so Don't worry.
Alrighty then.
I was saying that in general, the degradation here, as you said before, is actually very, very high. So Mackenzie needs to be very careful on trying to pull away carefully on Clark, because he might use too much his tires and he might have problem with degradation.
Hey Flo, wanna play you for tomorrow? As Titkov is getting the move done, he's up in the 14th place.
Actually, Ahmed is right now in a difficult situation. Like his aim is to try to be in F1 for next season, but as of right now, he's actually having a difficult season, so it's not going to be easy for him. Especially
right.
judging his contenders. Oh yeah, Fact did a little bit of
Bit of a
mistake.
lock up there for some Fact.
And now he's under pressure by Juho Sopanen.
That's right.
It's close with him, he goes still a little bit wide, going for the wider line, but stays in front at the moment. As meanwhile, the gap between these two, Mackenzie and Clark, is probably the same. Maybe 1.1, I don't know, something like this.
What's
Let's see.
the difference in fuel load?
Let me see. Oh, yeah, Mackenzie will pit earlier, probably. Will pit a lap earlier compared
So
to
he
Clark.
has a pace advantage now thanks to the fuel, but Clark should have some better pace in the second stint, as Victor Bobo is going for a move on his compatriot Will Naller into turn 1. He's just not close enough.
And Sobanen gets P11, out of fact. A nice comeback from him at the moment. But
Biro makes a move also, he's up at the 15th place.
Out of Muammanus Mohamed. And then Gonzalez and Fraser closing the group. Fraser already caught the group for P15.
He's getting close to the back of Bobo in the meantime.
Yeah, we actually is doing, let's say, an underwhelming season. Like, it's not something extraordinary, but it's not even horrible at the moment. Like,
they don't call DTM a lottery for nothing.
Oh yeah, of course. DTM is like this in general.
Yeah, that's right. As we're a fifth of the way through this race.
Yeah. I mean, of course, it will be like this until the end of this season, because next season we are going to have the performances balanced in general, like on levels.
I am very, very angry that Raven West Motorsport made it into DTM next season, but not Tim Kicker. Tim Kicker is clearly superior to Raven West, as he's going for the move.
And we probably going to get P9. Yes, he does.
Yep, that's right.
His teammate, actually. I think him and Bobo drove for Phonics.
Yeah, I think so.
I think they're teammates. I don't know if I'm wrong or not. But meanwhile, Sobanen is close to Ibobo.
That's right, but not close enough. Ibobo does feel the need to go defensive, but there's nothing wrong with that. He doesn't lose much time, and it's impossible to overtake through this middle sector.
As meanwhile, actually, I'm curious to know how does the gap between Mackenzie and Clark.
I'm curious to know.
Just we will see very soon. Yeah. Oh, meanwhile, Sobanen here goes on inside. Well done. Great move. That was
brilliant,
a great move.
But he's not finished it off. No, Bobo has the inside.
No, he
has taken the place.
He pulled the move. Well done. That was actually a great, well executed move. Especially here.
Bobo went a little deep. 1 minute ago, I said it's impossible to overtake in the middle sector. Well, Juho Sopanen proved me completely wrong.
Yeah, he took it personally, somehow.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, good recovery so far by Sopanen. Maybe he can even fight for points. Now I'm going to jinx him as I say this. As meanwhile, Fact is close to Ibobo for P11. You have all the slipstream. It will be enough to overtake Ibobo. Yes, it is. And Fact goes P11 with Molchan right behind his former Toro Rosso teammate actually, in 2009.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot Mochin actually drove for. Didn't he drive for Force India?
Yeah, he switched mid-season when Azrul has retired.
All right.
Like the first 9 races, he was with Toro Rosso, and then he went to Force India once Azrul has retired.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually I didn't quote enough attention to the gap between Mackenzie and Clark, but we'll see. Okay, 1 second. And Clark was actually under a second before the second intermediate. And Ibobo, I think he has been passed here by Motion. Or Ibobo stayed in front? No, Ibobo stayed in front.
Yep.
Actually, Ibobo for the second lap in a row went wide on that corner. Actually, he went wide at the Portimao corner. But now actually Motion is close with him. I will try to pull the move. Let's see. And I think he will get in front. Yes, he does. Motion is P12. But Ibobo would like to try to get in front once again, but no.
Mochin is ahead, and Victor Bobo is dropping quite a lot of places in this race. He's struggling for grip. Has he worn his tires out already? As Maxim Titkov is going for the move here, he's got the inside line, but Bobo is shutting the door. This could end badly, but it doesn't. Good move from Maxim Titkov, and Victor Bobo loses another place.
Here as well, will get the traction.
Make that another place. Victor Bobo is struggling massively.
Probably his tires are already cooked, and it isn't good for him because he still have 12 laps of fuel in general, or 12 liters of fuel, because he will pit sooner probably compared to the fuel load he have.
Yep.
And meanwhile here, Clark is Bui is under pressure by Juho Sopanen, and Juho Sopanen seems to be on a mission so far. He wants to get points as much as possible because actually Gonzalez is having a difficult race, so he wants to put himself still in a little bit of contention for the title. And Sopanen goes through to P9 out of with Bapiro trying to overtake Motion, but had to lift off. Yellow. No, Will Neller. No, sorry, Will Neller. Max Killen. Max Killen is out, and he's a championship contender out of the race, and he was P6.
That's not good for him. It's a brake failure.
Brakes failure. What a shame for Max Killen.
Yeah, that's right.
What a shame, because his championship rival was actually having a difficult race, and he was having a decent pace at the moment, and this happened. So was closing also the gap to Turvik.
Don't go any faster. This is too quick. We don't need this.
And he was lucky that actually the failure started in the straight, so he hadn't time to go to the pit lane.
This is too quick. We don't need this.
And
the only terminal.
The only thing you have to do here is actually to pull off, and such a shame the race has finished earlier for Max Skillen. As meanwhile, we are now seeing Quintino here, as all this group of cars are still battling. And meanwhile, Graf is closing to Clark. That's actually interesting.
Yeah, and that's right.
With Skillen retirement, Sobanen is now up to 8th, so good comeback so far by him.
Where did he start?
P18.
Wow, he's gained a lot of places.
Yeah, he's having a good pace at the moment, so fair enough to him. And in fact gets P9 out of Xavier Wee.
Yep, we drops a place as Bobo is trying to make a fight back, and he's got the overtake initially done, but on the second part of the corner, he loses the place. Hamid is going to try to take advantage.
Let's see if Robinho Gonzalez could do the same, but I don't think so because he's a little bit far. Maybe you have to worry more about Fraser behind. But nothing happens. It's all a train at the moment. All aboard the train of TJ Papirot. I don't know how much it costs, but all aboard the train. But yeah, Graf is actually closing the gap to Clark. 6/10. And
Yep,
Parrish as well.
it's going down.
And actually Parrish as well. So it might looking to be a top four battling for the win. So looking forward to that in that case. Mackenzie 1 second in front of Clark, so is breathing a little bit of fresh air at the moment.
Yep, indeed. As now Hamid is trying to go for the move here on Victor Bobo. Let's see if he can overtake him. In towards turn 1 we go. He's got the inside line and he's got the grip. He's got the
place, yeah. P14 for Hamid. With Fraser actually passing the championship leader, Robinho Gonzalez, who is having a pretty difficult race at the moment. And Christina, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine, don't worry.
No, I thought you actually lost the connection. At a certain point I didn't hear you anymore.
I just wasn't talking. I was busy texting someone.
Oh, alright. Fair enough. So yeah, Mackenzie is still pulling a little bit of gap to Clark, but it doesn't seem to be enough. Because Clark is still there. And actually Parrish is close to Graf. Parrish is close to Graf and want to make an attack onto turn 1. Let's see if he will have enough momentum to make the move here at turn 1.
He's going for it, and he's taking the place.
And Will Parrish is P3.
Yep.
So, a good moment for him.
Is this the 2020 or 2021 version of the track?
2020. You said it, yes.
I was looking at the branding, that's why. As now we've got the Bobo trying to retake the place he lost a lap ago. He can't do it, but Gonzalez also can't do it.
Gonzalez stays in P17 at the moment,
Yep.
so it's not really looking good for him, as I said before.
Let me know if my voice sounds feminine enough or not. For no moment, I'm trying to practice. But anyway...
Anyway, Bobo is here trying to get back on the back of Muhammad Usman Hamid. Let's see if he will be able to do it.
Gap between the top two is 1 second meanwhile.
Yeah, and that actually means that Mackenzie won't have an easy life. Clark is really aiming for getting his first ever DTM win.
Yeah, that's right.
We fairly hope that actually can do it, because yeah, it's a long time Michael wanted to join in DTM, and his aim was mainly to get a win in DTM, and of course if he reached that, we will be all happy for his achievement. Emiwell Sobanen gets another place. It's P7 out of Neller.
Yep, so he's picked up another point with that.
11 places gained. Impressive stuff so far by the finish man. Jiri will be happy for.
Meanwhile, 9/10 is the gap, so Clark has gained the 10th onto Mackenzie, but he's gonna have to be wary of Parrish also gaining onto him.
Meanwhile, maybe Fraser a little bit of lockup at the entrance of turn 4, I think, and Gonzalez is a little bit far still. This group doesn't look really good at the moment, but yeah, 1.1 the gap between Mackenzie Clark now. But Euro maybe went a little bit wide, but is actually closing the gap to Titkov for P12. Titkov, who of course is recovering from his 5-place grid penalty received at last race at Aragon. Same fact. Now he's trying to attack Will Neller for P8 and the last point position, but stays behind because he doesn't have enough momentum. As from what I've seen, actually, Motion tried an attack on actually, Bobo overtaken here by Fraser.
Yeah, Victor Boa's day is not going to plan right now.
Yeah, after his win last race at Aragon today, he looks to struggle quite a lot.
Yeah, indeed.
Like, Bobo's season is actually strange. He got all the points from the wins, but then all the other races he finished outside points or has retired 1 or 2 times, I think. So yeah, it's like an all or nothing basically for Victor.
Yeah, that's right.
As meanwhile, fact is 6 tenths behind Neller. Mackenzie is 9 tenths as Clark and will pit this lap. So pit stops are going to begin.
Yeah.
Of course, they began with the lap 1 drivers pitting for the damage, but now they're
Mackenzie's
going
to try to get an undercut, and hope that the fresher tires give him enough of a benefit to pull away from Clark at least a little bit, because Clark will have the advantage in the second stint.
And also Parrish is going to pit, so yeah.
He's gonna go for the undercut, try to get past Clark.
I think Clark will pit next lap anyway, so it's going to be crucial to him to not rejoin in the traffic. And also from what I've seen,
looks like we have a 3-car fight for the win at the moment, and strategy could influence things.
Yeah. Also, Motion is pitting.
And I don't mean Josh things.
Yeah. We are actually getting confused by his surname. So it's easy to mix up the things.
Anyway, TJ Babiro is gaining onto... I'm not sure who that is in front of him. Is it Titkov?
Titkov.
Well, he's gaining, but he's unable to do the Supinen move. Meanwhile, take a look at this. Mackenzie's coming into the pits, and he's gonna give Clark the lead temporarily.
So, I think that, of course, Mackenzie is going to be on the one-stop strategy. As also Parrish is joining him in the pit lane. And there we go, Mackenzie now put the light on to the right.
Yep.
For his pit stop. And yeah, he's going to the end. Let's see where he will rejoin. Parrish rejoins.
It's critical for him to make sure that he doesn't get any traffic.
And he rejoins behind Hamid, and that's okay. Of course, out of these two, championship leader Rubinho Gonzalez paused Victory Bobo for P14 currently.
This is Clark's opportunity.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome, Michael, to the chat.
Oh, welcome, Michael. Yeah, I haven't seen him. And meanwhile, it's actually going to make an advantage on Mackenzie right now, because Mackenzie joined with fresh air in front, without any cars in front, and actually Parrish is going to get a little bit of issues with the cars of Gonzalez and Bobo fighting. So he will probably lose the train for the win. As meanwhile, I think Michael is going to be this lap. Yes.
So
yeah,
it's 2 laps after the fact, not just 1 lap.
Yeah, I thought it was 1 lap. As meanwhile, Fraser is going to be this lap. And yeah, I think that this lap that Fraser...
in the meantime, he's up in the 4th place.
Wow, once again, another move pulled off before his pit. It's looking good for Sopanen.
Looks like Papiros lost some time there into turn 1 with that failed overtake. Meanwhile, Victor Bobo is being passed by Will Parrish, who has already pitted. And he needs to make sure he doesn't get a lot of traffic.
And yeah, you have Gonzalez, but actually Mackenzie has pulled a little bit away from the traffic he had behind. So
He needs
it's
this
not
clean
easy
air
for
as much
him.
as possible if he wants to hold on to the lead.
Indeed. As me, well,
Fraser
Fraser
rejoins 18th, could be 19th. No, it is
and
18th via the apex.
former
But in
train.
comes Clark. He's gonna come into the pits in just a few seconds' time.
Actually, so kind from Fraser, making a little bit of company with FG
Now
and
here's the
Gamba.
question: will Clark still be in front of Parrish or not?
Let's see. I think that he will be just in front of Gonzalez, but behind Mackenzie.
Michael, this is going to OC quotes, just so you know.
And it's so exciting about Visit, the opening round of VGCC in Donington. Oh yeah, right. VGCC is starting. I read that they actually mentioned in the chat.
7.5 seconds stop for Clark, as DJ Papiro is going for the move here on Maxim Titkov.
It won't be enough, I think. Yes.
No.
He braked a little bit earlier and he rejoins behind. Oh, Parrish is as well is going to jump him.
Yeah, Parrish is in front.
jumping.
He's got the undercut.
So actually, Mackenzie and Parrish, even with the traffic in front, has lapped faster than him. So undercut had quite a huge power here, it seems.
But now the issue is Clark has 2 laps fresher tires, and this means Parrish will be under some pressure. Clark should have the better pace.
Also, Graf has speed. I haven't noticed Campana as well. And yeah, he had to wait. Oh, that's why. That's why Clark lost time. He had to wait for Campana pitting.
Either way, he's gonna need to get some temperature up into those tires and push because he knows he can win this race as Bobo emerges in P19 with a 0.0 second stop. Ignore that bug.
And Gamba as well is pitting. Gamba is going to be lapped probably.
Yeah.
That's of course quite summing up his season once again. He will hope to have a better faith next season if he will be in DTM, because who knows, he might even be in Formula E. As jokingly mentioned, I said he will join in Pantera F1 team in Formula E.
Oh my goodness.
The Chinese Formula E team of
Here
Pantera.
goes DJ Bapiro, he's going for the move.
Yeah. Well, Neller is pitting. Bapiro is still trying to pass Titkov before his pit stop, but stays behind. And Parrish is actually not pulling really much away from
Here goes
Clark.
in fact, he's going for the move on Lincoln Pana here.
And he does it. Well done.
Yeah.
That was a good move. And Neller rejoined just in front of them. Neller
that's gonna be interesting.
Out of nowhere. Just spawned out of nowhere and rejoins in front of Fact. Actually,
very close to the back of Titkov in the meantime, as Sam Fact is going for the move on Neller here into turn 5. Can he get him? No.
You know, we cannot, but be careful here because it's easy to crash.
Yeah,
I can tell you from experience. Because
as Gonzalez loses a place to FG.
Yeah, and
hello,
Motion
Potato Guy. Welcome to the chat.
And actually, Potato Guy is TJ Bapiro, so hello, TJ Bapiro.
Yes, hello, TJ. As Turvik is into the pits.
As well for Sobanen and Bapiro now as well. So, TJ, you just joined in time to see yourself pitting.
That's right.
Rejoins the truck.
8
Let's
seconds
see if you will jump. Graf, sorry if I interrupt you.
It's okay, don't worry. This is gonna be close, but no. No cigar.
Let's see if you with better tires he will be.
Here goes Campana, he's got the inside line and he's already in front of Sam Fact. He's got a position.
He retakes the place. So
pit calls at the front. We and Titkov are gonna box.
Yeah, is actually looking good, I think. This second stint might look good for
Mackenzie has a 3-second advantage on Parrish. He's really gained with the undercut, but Clark has plenty of time to catch up and try to pass these two guys in front of him.
The only question is actually if no, Hamid is not pitting. So actually, Hamid might play a fundamental role to try and help actually Parrish in case Mackenzie won't pass him next lap, and if Mackenzie will be hold up by him. So well, we and Titkov are going to pit this lap, and we is in the pit lane already. As he pulled the onto the right. Here. And let's see if he had to wait for Titkov. Luckily no. So he didn't lose time.
No.
Titkov is now in the box, of course. P13. Let's see if he can rejoin P13. I think he will rejoin just in front in P13. Yes, he does. Papiro is here. And Papiro, is he going to jump him? Yes, he does. Papiro jumps Titkov just in front with Fraser right behind him.
He's gonna have to worry about Daniel Fraser. He's going on the attack. Meanwhile, Sam Fact thinks about a move into turn 5, but he couldn't make it work. FG's into the pits meanwhile, as Mackenzie has caught up to the race leader Mohamed Usman Hamid, who is yet to pit. This could hold him up a little bit.
He will pit his lap, so actually Hamid might help a little bit Parrish. And Clark as well, right?
He's running very close to the back of Hamid here. He needs to be careful he doesn't get held up. Hamid is gonna pull into the pits, and Mackenzie doesn't appear to be slowing down, so this is good for him. He's lost a little bit of time, but he'll be trying his best to regain his lead. Yeah, he has lost a lot of time actually.
Made him a difficult life, let's say, and
passed the slap for I'm not sure who.
Who set the fastest lap? Oh, it's actually Sopanen.
Sopanen is pushing like a madman. Of course, no bonus points for fastest lap in this series, but you do want to have the fastest lap if you get the chance, just for pride, to show that you had the pace.
Yeah. And actually here, Parrish is now 1.1 behind. Hamid rejoins in P13 just in front of Titkov, and he actually jumped Titkov because he was behind him the first time. So well done to him.
Mackenzie's gonna be under pressure soon. He needs to be careful and manage this stint.
And of course, the one who can actually have advantage from all of this is Clark, because he pitted 2 laps later compared to both Mackenzie and Parrish, so he will have a fresher tires and more grip.
It's a 4-car fight, and the race win could go to anybody in this train of cars.
Indeed. Under the second. The gap is now under the second between Mackenzie and Parrish, so...
Mackenzie has had to do the first stint as Sopanen sets another fastest lap. He's on fire.
On fire. And I think maybe he can coach even Terwick.
Could be.
But we
as we down the inside, the fact.
He does.
No, he hasn't got him.
Not yet. No, he does. He does.
Turn 4. Still side by side, they are in towards turn 4. Fact will have the inside.
No, he doesn't.
So he has to back out.
He doesn't.
8 tenths is the gap. Meanwhile, Clark and Graf are also quite close. So is Turvik.
Going to look an interesting win, an interesting fight for the win.
Yeah.
Sorry for messing up a little bit myself.
Yeah, don't worry.
But here it is. We closing on Fact. Fact look to struggle a little bit right now.
That's right.
I actually wish that he hasn't burned his tire too quickly, because he was close actually to Mochen before and Campana, but he now lost the train. So yeah, it's not really looking good from him so far.
Parrish has stopped gaining. In fact, Clark has gotten quite close to him.
And meanwhile, here it is.
This should be
Going
an easy pass.
back. Yeah, I think he's
got the
ahead.
Chennai speed advantage and he's got the place this time.
And well done to Wee. It's actually a
He's
good
under
move.
10th place, but no points for that in this series. As Clark is gaining onto the back of Parrish, just 4/10 is the gap. He's gonna have an opportunity onto the next lap.
Yeah, indeed. I think that Mackenzie is now seriously under threat from both Parrish and overall above all Clark.
Clark
And
and Dorwick Graf and sorry, not Clark. Graf and Dorwick have good pace as well. They're keeping up with these guys.
Yeah, I think
look
that
at Michael Clark. He's gotten so much closer to Will Parrish. He's gonna get a decent shot. In towards Galp we go. Parrish isn't gonna get a lot of slipstream from Mackenzie, but Clark is gonna get a lot of slipstream. Through the last corner we go, and he's gonna get a great shot here. Clark can't take second place back here. He's going for the move on Parrish. He's got the inside line. Does he have the straight line speed and the confidence under braking to get this move sorted? Let's see. Into turn 1 we go. No.
And this will help Graf, of course.
And Mackenzie.
And yeah, Mackenzie will breathe a little bit of fresh air in front and less pressure.
Yeah, he has increased the gap a little bit thanks to the little hold up the two cars behind him had for a second there. And you can see the gap is at now 1.6 seconds. So Jay Mackenzie is the real winner of the fight for second.
And watch out for Sovanen. I say this because Sovanen looks quite quick at the moment and is closing onto the back of Turwick for P5.
Do you think he could win the race?
Winning the race, I don't really know. He pitted late, as far as I know, but who knows? He might be really a threat for the podium. And with this, actually.
We know he can drive fast, but the question is, can he pass?
Yeah, that's the thing, because here is, let's say, you have to get a good traction onto the last corner to have a good
Graf is extremely close to the back of Clark. We have to take a look at that.
You have to have a good speed here at the last corner.
We're two-thirds of the way through.
And Graf at the moment doesn't have it to overtake Clark.
Now Clark is getting his wits together and trying to get closer to Parrish in front. He's been jumped by him in the pit stops, of course. Now he wants to take that position and chase after the leader.
And actually now Clark is closing again on Parrish. With both actually seemingly to gain on to Mackenzie. I think, yeah, Mackenzie is losing. Mackenzie is losing a little bit of time because he isn't far as he was a little bit before. And yeah, it's 1.3 gap. So Mackenzie is vulnerable as of right now. And Clark went wide here. Have a wide line, and actually Graf now have a good opportunity in the straight if he actually have a good traction from the last corner to overtake him. To be exact, at Gulp is the last corner named. So now Graf is close.
Yeah, that's right. Clark is gonna be under attack here. Graf is going for the inside. Let's see if we can get this overtake done.
Side by side. Graf goes through. And it's P3 for the
place. Parrish has pulled away quite a lot in the meantime.
And these also had Sopanen behind. Of all the threats, let's say.
Yeah.
Now Clark is also vulnerable to a weak. And of course, as mentioned by Sopanen, Clark looked to struggle a little bit. And I don't wish that he have actually already burned his tires a little bit. Maybe trying to attack Parrish. He used too much the rubber, and yeah. Maybe it could be now a trouble for him for these last 15 laps, and once again He went a little bit wide. Turwick trying to tuck him.
Yeah, but he can make it work. He didn't have the grip. Only Sopanen can pull off moves like that. And speaking of him, he's right there, look.
Yeah, Sopanen looks hungry. Looks quite hungry today because he sees that actually Gonzalez is down the order, and himself
close
now
enough here.
could close
Looks
the
like
gap
Clark
for the
might lose
championship.
another position. Clark is definitely not winning this race anymore. He's under attack now, and he hasn't been able to switch on the tires in his stint properly.
And does
Watch
Turwick
out,
do?
he'll
I
get the
don't think so.
rebound on the second part of the corner, and yeah,
No, he
Clark
doesn't.
retains the position. Meanwhile, Sopanen has gotten very close. Could he have a run perhaps into turn 5?
Let's see. He looks close now. Let's see if he will pull the move, but actually Turwick is changing his line and
No
stays
chance.
in front. He's going to be quiet because behind Neller is 8 seconds. And so we have a little bit of time to try to attack both Clark and Turwick.
Yep.
And Turwick went wide here.
Sopanen can make it work though.
Sopanen fought again of making the move there, but it doesn't work this
Parrish
time.
has cut the gap. Meanwhile, it's just 1 second between him and Mackenzie.
And Graf as well isn't really far
Who
from
was
them.
the pole sitter, by the way? I forgot.
Jay Mackenzie.
All right. So he'll be looking to try to convert pole to win, but in the meantime, this guy who hosts Sopanen will be looking to take 5th place. He's got a decent run, and let's see if we can get him into turn 1. Does he have the confidence? He does.
P5. And
Wait,
as of
wait. He might lose it.
Turwick has tried to respond
He's
him,
got it.
but it doesn't work.
Sopanen
And
is
as
up
of
in
right
5th
now,
place, and just how much higher can he go?
let's see. But as of right now,
Turvik
actually,
isn't done. He's gonna try to fight back, but Sopanen senses that and closes the door. Meanwhile, Parrish is gaining another 0.2 of a second.
8 times now. Oh, that's actually going to look interesting. Mackenzie seems to struggle now.
Yep.
And actually, the points gap between now Gonzalez and Sopanen is 11 points. So Sopanen want to gain as much points as possible to actually try to take the
You
best.
mean 11
possible.
points if the race were to finish as is?
Yeah, as it stands, actually it's 11 points. As
Right.
meanwhile we went a little bit wide.
Yeah, he's trying to fight for some points, so he's trying to get up to motion.
And here we are with Dennis Graf.
As the track has decided to disappear for some reason, now we got it back.
Yeah, it's the glitch.
Graf is getting closer to Parrish.
Yeah, Graf looked closer than actually Parrish is to Mackenzie.
Yep.
We might see soon a battle for P2. Graf is doing a good job so far.
And that might prove to be a reprieve for Mackenzie.
What if both close the gap to Mackenzie and it becomes a 3-way battle for the win? That will be actually insane.
That would be fun.
Still 12 laps to go, so everything can be possible. Clark is closing a little bit on this group. And Sopanen as well. He's a little bit far at the moment. He lost a little bit of time behind Clark and Turwick.
Yep.
So far, he only managed to pass Turwick. And both of them needs to close the gap to these 3.
Mackenzie's doing a good job managing the gap. It's a small gap, but it's all he's got, and he's not letting Parrish get any closer. In fact, Graf is gonna go for the move.
Graf surely will try to move onto turn 1. Here it is.
Yeah, he's going for it. Does he have the straight line speed? In towards turn 1, I don't think this is it.
Oh,
no,
man.
it's not.
Let's see. No, it is.
No, he has
no,
the
it's like
inside, but
before.
this is gonna turn to the outside for turn
It's
4. He's
like
gonna have to
before,
back
and he's
down.
actually
And Clark is getting back into the battle as well. But Mackenzie has pulled away once again. Now Clark, in towards turn 5 we go. He's gonna go for the move. But Graf closes the door.
and look at Juas open and closing
Everyone is on the one
gap
stop
as well.
Romano.
And yeah, everyone is on one stop. Only the
Mackenzie has
drivers
pulled
were
away a few
damaged on that
seconds
one.
there. This will be great for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, I can breathe good fresh air at the moment with this battle ongoing.
Yep.
And Clark, Graf is trying to to stay with Parrish as much as possible, as Sopanen is actually right behind the back of Michael Clark. So we might see two different battles here.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I wanted to see what Mackenzie's gap is, as Tarmac decided to rudely disappear for the last corner.
Yeah. Oh my lord! Actually, three seconds. Mackenzie here have to tank these
Here
people,
goes
but
Graf for
with
the
each
second
other.
shot. This time, I think he's got
It
him,
worked.
yes.
It
Graf's
worked.
up in
Well done to
second.
Graf. Oh no, Graf has a little bit of a moment here, locked up.
And some understeer. Meanwhile, Sopanen tried to get past Clark. Clark got him back with the traction.
And this will help quite a lot, Mackenzie, and you actually gained even more,
3.8.
nearly 4 seconds now. Nearly 4 seconds. Mackenzie's
Surely
now.
he's the favorite for the race win, as we has overtaken much to go up in 9th place.
And yeah, Wiz closing his gap to Campana as well for the last point position.
Yep.
As meanwhile, we're seeing now.
Hello, George. Welcome to the chat.
Come on, Dennis. Dennis Tan. Dennis Tan here. So yeah, Dennis is doing quite well today. So
Standing Dennis is the correct choice.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Parrish is losing pace now. He's
Yeah.
not managing to close the gap to Dennis Graf.
Why does the last corner just disappear at times?
Basically, it is a glitch of this version of Portimao. This is what actually Flo said.
Right, because I've never seen that before, but
yeah.
there's a first time for everything.
It's the 2020 version that it's like this. But
what version do F2 and the top class use?
I think 2019. I don't know. 2009. Whoa.
Right.
All right. So yeah, top class actually uses 2009. I did not knew it.
Anyway, 3.7. Graf has got the gap by a tenth, but this is not gonna be enough. Mackenzie's pace is good enough to keep him in front. Meanwhile, Sopanen could be looking at a podium here if he can overtake some of the cars around ahead of him. Through the right-hander of Portimao we go. Looks like Clark closed the door there. He was judicious about it. And Sopanen will have to wait if he wants to get the overtake done.
And now Parrish looks to struggle because it seems to be all over the place. Even here you have a little bit of wider line. Might be
Graf is pulling away quite a lot, honestly. Here goes Michael Clark. He's got good run, great traction, and he's in the slipstream. He's now going for the move. Look at the difference in straight line speed between the two. This should be the move for Clark, and he's looking at getting back onto the podium. Michael Clark has made it work initially, but on the second part of the traction zone, he's lost out. Sopanen and Turvik have caught up as well.
And this is going to be an intense battle here for P3.
This is helping Graf get away.
This is helping Graf, who of course is now trying to close on Mackenzie. As Mackenzie is losing a little bit of time. 3.6, yeah, lost a little bit of time, but I think his tires will be quite cooked during the last few laps, so Graf has to be careful with this. And to
I
try
don't
to take
think Mackenzie has anything to worry about.
Yeah, but I
have to disagree with you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, 3.3 now.
Sopanen tried to
only
go for
thing-
his trademark move onto Clark, but he couldn't get close enough.
The only thing that actually is worrying here that if you pit very early for the undercut, you have to be careful then for the final part of the race as
It's
the
only 2
tires here.
laps, Franco.
Yeah, I know it's 7 laps, but still Dennis can do something and
Sopanen is
close.
getting a great run onto Clark in the meantime. He's
Yeah.
gonna try to take P4 here.
Will he finally do it? Think so.
No, I don't think he has the overlap. But he has actually. He has
But
taken
yes.
the place, my mistake. And Sopanen is 1 place away from the podium.
As meanwhile, 3.1 actually the gap between Dennis and Jay. So
Graf has picked up the pace a little bit.
yeah, I have clean air now, so you can actually, let's say, push more in a more cleaner. So yeah. And hello, Heaven.
Hey Evan, how you doing?
As meanwhile here, Mackenzie is still 2.8.
He's gaining a little bit more. Graf could be a threat to
Let's
Mackenzie.
see. As meanwhile here, Bapiro is close onto the back of Sam Fucked.
Not close enough.
And of course stays behind.
Wrexham 3-1 up. Interesting. They're gonna get promoted. Cool.
Oh, nice.
Ryan Reynolds will be celebrating. Another man who might be celebrating is Matus Turvik because he's going for the position here. Let's see if he can get the overtake done. Joe doesn't like Wrexham, it seems.
Probably. 2 week trying to get the place on clock, but doesn't work. Stays behind.
On the topic of Wrexham, I'm just going to say I like Ryan Reynolds. He is cool.
Yeah, it's a cool person, like in general. It's
Turvik,
not
meanwhile, can't overtake Clark.
it's not the greatest Welsh ever. Like
Hey
Jamie
George, who
Griffin.
is Wrexham up? Who is the Wrexham playing against?
As meanwhile here, 2 week is still closed. Given I'm from Nottingham. Oh, that's
Joe
alright.
prefers Notts County.
Yeah, given he's from Nottingham, yeah, it's fair because there's a bit of rivalry.
Sepinen is gaining meanwhile onto Parrish. He senses that a
Oh,
podium
look
is
at Neller.
possible.
Look at Neller. He
Started
closed the gap.
18th, I think, right?
Yeah, he started 18th, but also look at Neller. He closed the gap to Clark and Towick, so Neller might be a threat for both of them. If
This train is
they're
getting
not
bigger and bigger.
as me, well, no, he's not close enough to make the move. So Sopanen right now.
2.2, Graf has gained quite a lot.
Yeah, Graf might be in contention for the win in the last lap. As meanwhile, Towick
He's got
done
him.
the move finally. And now it's
Michael
going
Clark
to be.
was challenging for the win earlier.
Yeah.
Now, looks like he could be 6th place or even worse.
Yeah, let's see. Let's say the race hasn't been managed really well by him during the battle. So yeah.
Forest and County are more frenemies than arch rivals, mainly because they rarely face each other. I was going to ask Joe what the league is each team in on the topic of that. Because I
Forest is
imagine
in-
they're in different divisions.
Forest is in Premier.
Oh yeah, right.
They lost 3-2 today to Liverpool.
And that's his league too, thank you Flo. I like how we were so distracted from the race and started talking about football.
Yeah, actually, it's getting off topic, but let's say it's good that we have to get a little bit of
National League, thank you
from
Joe.
that.
So they're non-league.
So basically the same league that actually.
Here goes
Is-
Sopanen for the podium. He's gained 14 places today, but can he gain 15? Into
And
turn
he
1,
does.
yes.
No,
Here Sopanen is up
Great
to the
race.
3rd. Next
Great
target,
race.
if you can catch him, is Dennis Graf, which I'm not
Oui.
sure.
weeks close to Campana. Bapiro is
Piro is over
P11.
the 10th, meanwhile.
Bapiro.
New OC lower drops. Joe hates the Welsh. Someone better tell Jamie.
Jamie's seat chances are now 0.
As if they weren't
But,
already.
Yeah, sadly for him.
Anyway, FG is trying to avoid the
Oh,
wooden spoon of finishing last. He's going for the move here on Franco Gamba. He's got him. Or has he? Because Gamba's got good traction. Yes, FG has got him.
So yeah, another disappointing day for Gamba. So
1.6 between the leaders.
Easy to forget, and Bapiro went wide, and he lost the place to Mochen.
Lucky he didn't end up in the gravel.
Luckily.